Well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again on this here beautiful day, partly cloudy, in South Alabama. It is a beautiful day. About 78 degrees too. But we're about to make a little trip. And since some of you stopped on by, as always, friends and family, you can all jump into focus too. Now, the pollen's really bad. The car's turning yellow. So, just be aware of that. Let me show you something here with the blueberries as we're walking down through here. We got a minute or two before we got to be there. And maybe you can see them. The bees are all about. So not all the blossoms for the blueberries died. You can see the bumbles are working right there. And who do I got here? Who is this here crying? Is that you, Speedy? Speedy? Well, okay. It's not Fast Food Friday. But I'll remember, okay? Thanks for reminding me. There's food in the bowl and water. So yeah, Speedy was asking, was I going to Jack's? And I had to remind her it's only Tuesday, 29th of March. And it's not Fast Food Friday. But, like I was saying, I am a little bit encouraged with the blueberries since the bees are working. Some of the blossoms didn't make it. Here's a good example. You can see that one that's really brown. There's some that are burnt back. Of course, there comes my extra special buddy, Spooky. What are you saying there, Spook? You doing good, shakalaka? You doing good? Everything fine with you? You got plenty of kit and caboodle in y'all's bowl. You don't get wet poo till supper time. Okay? You two chow cats, or chow kitties, can't call you chow hounds. You're not dogs. But y'all stay here, and I'll be back. And before I have my supper, like always, I'll fix yours. Yeah, so they're just raring to go. Of course, they figure as soon as I walk out the door, they should have something. Well, it just don't always work out that way. But here again is a perfect example on the blueberries of some that got bit by those cold temperatures. And it wouldn't have mattered if I had covered it. It was just too cold for too long. I know that, because many people have let me know they covered theirs and they lost all their blossoms and therefore all their berries. But right there shows it all. And then you can look at others that are just fine. So we will get, it's looking like we'll still get a fair pass of blueberries this year. Will it be as good as the last 2 or 3 years? Well, still have to wait and see. Probably not. But it'll be more than I can eat fresh. So we'll replenish the freezer. Spooky. Sitting on my feet doesn't keep me from going. I got to get in the car. We got to head on down the road. Pick up something, okay? So y'all, as you can see, car's turning yellow. Yes, it is. But hey, let's all jump in. It ain't very far. And we'll pick something up and we'll head her on back. And I'll talk to you a little bit about it when we get in the country kitchen. Well, y'all, as you can see, there's a whole lot of pollen on that windshield. Or maybe you can't. I don't know if you can or not. But I can. So pardon the wipers. And we got the school bus in front of us. So, that all being said, it is what it is. So we're going to be behind the bus for a minute or two. Nothing critical. We actually get 2 buses that come here. One is, of course, from the Tallahassee school system that all services this area, and the other is from the Reeltown school system, which is to the northeast of us. I would say about 15 miles, could be a little more. That also services our community here on the east side of the river. So if you live on the east side, you can choose which school system to go to. Where if the kids are living on the west side, they only got one choice, and that's the Tallahassee school system. Just a little bit of school information there for you. Probably didn't even want to know that, did you? But you do. I've got to try to straighten y'all out. I think you're crooked. I'm going to come up here to the stop sign. I'll see if I can't straighten y'all out just a tad some. I'm a little bit lax there. Well, that looks better. Y'all are all sitting up straight now. You're all buckled in, and off we go. And in all truth, it's been a while since we took a little ride, and this ain't gonna take long. When I called it in, and yes, if you might have guessed, that's all the old man does through most of the month now. Cook, 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 cook. Of course, I'm sure some are saying, well, you should show us more cooking videos, Mr. Tom. Yeah, and if you actually saw what I go through to make them cooking videos, you'd understand. It's always a process, you know? Because if you just set up the camera and just keep going, you know, your battery could die. All kinds of things can happen. And then you get through with it and go to look at the video and you miss the end, or you miss the middle. So there's a process. I try to segment it all up in stages and video it as I go, and then go check to make sure everything came out, because I've done exactly that. Lost parts of the cooking video, or show as I would like to call it, and you didn't get to see it. But I got another one coming up for you. Might be tomorrow, might be Thursday. Just have to wait and see. But we're going to try to get back to doing, you know, I ain't going to say everyday videos, because that's just too much. During the winter time, I can do that, and I did. But during the spring, summer, and fall, that gets pretty hard, because I got stuff to do outside. I got work to do on the house, cars, lawn track, you know, I got work. Now, I might be retired, but I still got work. Trust me, I do. But anyway, since I got the bills all paid up, got everything situated, like always, had just a little bit of money for me and the kitty crew. And I thought, well, I'd treat myself today, since I really didn't feel like cooking. Been out working on the lawn tractor. And I'd go run and pick me up something real quick. But in doing so, when we get home, I want to explain a few things about it. You know, people sort of think the dish that I ordered today, and I know when they see it, they're going to go, oh, that ain't it. Well, they'd be wrong. What they think is it, isn't it. Because like so many of the different cuisines in America, they're not actually authentic. No. I mean, what we call Chinese here is Chinese in America. You can look up every recipe and see the origin of it. Same is true with Mexican. Almost everybody knows it's Tex-Mex. And I mean, we've done it to Italian. We've done it to all of them. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some restaurants where you can buy authentic dishes, but the vast majority, you got to tack American on the end, because that's exactly what has happened. And that's a little bit of part about what we'll discuss in the country kitchen when we get there. And we ain't too far from it. Yep, as you saw, Spooky and Speedy, you know, they had to stop me and ask, is it time for Jacks? And if you kept listening, little Speedy, my little princess, she was so despondent. What you mean, man? It ain't Fast Food Friday? But I got their backs covered this Friday. Yep. This weekend I gave them the last of their chicken tenders. So we got a resupply for the month of April. And where we're going to be going today is one of my favorite restaurants. And we only got one of them. Thank God it's a good one. And there, let me show it to you. It's right there in front of us. The Great Wall. I've been all over this country. And I've been to China. But I'll say one thing. I haven't found a better Chinese restaurant in America than the Great Wall. I put them up against anybody. Y'all sit in the car, I got the air running, and I'll leave the car running, and I'll run in and get it, okay? Won't take but a minute. Well, as you can see, that didn't take long at all. Took, I think, less than 3 minutes. They had it sitting there waiting for me. Now, can you guess what Chinese delicacy that I got? It'd be interesting. And if you want to guess, you can start typing away in the comments. Then you can see if you were right. Some people are impatient. They see you backing out of a parking place and they just gonna, go ahead and pull in right in the one that's beside you. And as you can see, spring has sprung. The main superfoods here on the west side has got all their plants out. Woo! I got the gardening bug. Yes, I do. And today, March 29th, is our average last frost date. So, next week, I may do a little bit of gardening. Not saying how much. And there we go. One thing about my little small town here, the traffic lights don't take long to change. No, they don't. But what I ordered, unlike many restaurants, or Chinese restaurants that I've eaten in all across this country, is, like I say, they're Chinese American. And then when you look on the internet and look up this particular dish, oh, I guarantee you, and that's why some of you will not believe what I'm going to tell you later, or you'll look it up and go, oh no, Mr. Tom, you're wrong. Well, actually, Mr. Tom's right. You know, you might say, well, you know, millions of people on the internet can't be wrong. Well, you see, that gets back to all these here social media platforms that cook. They cook what they think people's gonna like. Whereas Mr. Tom, as you know, he cooks family dishes and such things. Yep. Recipes from the past. And some, you know, they came from my great-grandma, my grandmas, came from my mother or my daddy, somebody in the family, and some I developed all on my own. You know, like my stir fry. That was on me when I told you. It was not authentic. And I wasn't going to pass it off. But I bet people will argue about what I'm going to show you when we get back to the country kitchen. And if you've been paying attention as we've been riding along, you can see the trees all budded out. It looks like, for the most part, things are going to do just fine after that, you know, extreme cold snap we had that one day. Well, one morning. Some of them suffered. You know, just like I lost some blueberries. Thank God, didn't lose them all. And it'll be interesting to see just how many we get, won't it? But it's greening up in the south. It ain't fully green, but it's well on its way. We're heading back across the river, heading up to the east side, to a deluxe cottage under the oaks. Y'all remember that song? Except I think it was heading on up to the east side, a deluxe apartment in the sky. Yeah, back when we had fun TV shows, we could actually make fun of people without them getting butt hurt. Nope, can't do that no more. I don't know how comedians are making a living anymore. Of course, y'all saw what happened on the Oscars last night, and if you didn't watch the Oscars, you can't hardly miss all the clips of when Chris Rock told a joke about Will Smith's wife, which suffers from a medical condition. Granted, it was in poor taste, the joke. Will Smith, he was infuriated. He went up on that stage and put the slap down on Chris Rock. Of course, I'm not sure if that was all set up or not. Who knows? Because the Oscars, their ratings have sucked for years. We all know drama sells, don't it? That's why people love those, what are they? Reality shows so much. Even though for the most part, they're staged too. But we're going to head her on up here through the neighborhood. Ooh, there's a nice dogwood. Here, this here house has got all the prawn trees. Dogwood's starting to bloom. Nice. I guess the people in that house there, maybe they came from Florida. They wanted to bring a little bit of it up here to South Alabama. It amazes me those trees will grow here, as cold as it gets sometimes. But they do. Grass is all starting to green up. And tomorrow, since I've now got the yard tractor back Cadillacing, we're going to be spending some quality time on it in the next couple of days or so. It's that time of year again. And for those of you who, like me, have certain respiratory issues, it's also the time of year for pollen. And it can aggravate respiratory conditions such as asthma and COPD. If you've never looked at a pollen underneath a microscope, and you can do that on the internet, they're just some real spiky, nasty looking little things. And they will irritate your throat, irritate your nasal passages, your sinuses. Oh yeah. I wonder if they have a problem with that out in the desert. I don't know. Maybe somebody that watches the channel that actually lives out in the desert can let us all know. I'd be curious. And of course the yard services are hard at it. That's one thing there. They sure are expensive. And I just don't get it. They just blow everything out in the road. I don't even do that. I put my bagger on, and when I'm done, I drive up and down the roads where I cut my yard, and I suck my clippings back up off the street. Albeit I'm the only one that does that. Of course, maybe that's because I'm the only one that has a bagger on his lawn tractor. But if nothing more, go up and down the street, blow them back in your yard. They'll fertilize your yard. Well, we're almost there. And all total, from the time I called it in till now, which will be at the home place in about, a minute, it will have taken us basically 30 minutes round trip, including you and us chatting before we all loaded up in the car. I gotta check the mailbox when I get there too, and then we'll just pull on in and we'll head on into the country kitchen, and I'll show you what we got, and I'll explain a few things about authentic and Chinese American. Not that you probably ever wanted to know or care. And as you can see, Spooky waiting right there. Let me get out and check that there mailbox. If y'all want, I'm going to put the car in park. Y'all and I'll climb out in case you want to, chat with Spooky, Speedy. I'm sure Cleo will be up here to see you too. If you've got any accounting problems, any tax problems, or stuff of that nature, talk to Spooky. Speedy, she don't do any of that. She's just too bougie. She's a princess. Okay? Look, you two carpet monsters. You two terror kitties. Give each other a break. Okay? Did you hear me a little bit? Did you hear me, Gracie? You wait till I come walking in the kitchen and you're right back at it again. Come on, Lily. Little bit. Huh? Ease up on little Gracie. She's a pacifist. Yeah, they get along like best of buds, forever friends. Well, if you didn't guess yet what I went and picked up, well, it's right here before you. Maybe you can guess now. Probably still can't. But what we got here is actual, authentic chicken. Well, it's actually house special chow mein, not lo mein. It's got chicken in it, it's got pork in it, it's got all the Chinese vegetables, there's some beef in it, there's even shrimp and seafood in it. Yep. But you'll notice maybe something missing. This is where the informative part and teaching comes from the video. Yeah. It don't got no noodles in it. And like I said, I know you can go on the internet right now and think you can prove me wrong. Because there's just millions of recipes out there. And their chow mein has noodles. Well, it's all a part of authentic Chinese, like in China, how they make it. And yeah, sadly but true, in the westernized areas, i.e. tourist areas, you can get what we call chow mein here. But what the Chinese refer to as lo mein. And my Chinese restaurant, years and years ago, which is operated, and the cooks are actual Chinese. Sure enough, they are. And they came over a long time ago. Now, yeah, they got Chinese American in there too. But for whatever reason, this is one dish they still do authentic, just like they did it when they were back home. No noodles. Now they do make lo mein, which has noodles. You know, those lo mein noodles. And because people got upset in my little small town when they would buy this, which is on their menu, it's chow mein, they would actually get upset because it didn't have noodles in it. So the Great Wall came up with versions of this with noodles in it, but they call it chow mein bun. And they'll ask me every time when I'm ordering, you want chow mein bun or you want chow mein? And then they start explaining over the phone for the 100th time, chow mein authentic, no noodles, just vegetables. If you want noodles, we have lo mein and we have chow mein bun, which, like I say, is just a Chinese American version of chow mein. And the other reason I know this to be true, that this is quite authentic, regardless of the million recipes that your little fingers have already typed up on Google, is because I've been to China. And this is exactly how they make it too. Surely they do. And I know it's hard to see, but it's got onion in it. It's got carrot in it. It's got cabbage in it. Oh, it's got just all kinds of goodness. And there's other things in there too. I ain't gonna dig through it all. You know, there's some broccoli. Yeah, plenty of shrimp in there. Look at that. Oh, one got away. Okay, since it got away, you know what's got to happen to it. Taste test. That is tasty. I can't wait to dish this up. And I bet you can't either. Whew, I sure do miss real, authentic Chinese food. Probably never go back. Getting a little bit too old. They might not let me out anymore. But anyway, just, you know, an interesting fact. I'm sure a lot of people will thumbs down, argue, and try to prove me wrong. But that's okay. You believe what you wish. I'll believe what I know. And they always fix you up. As you can see, it's just slap full. And they gave me 3 fortune cookies, like always. A whole passel here of soy sauce. I told them to keep duck sauce. And what they also explain is this particular dish comes with white rice instead of fried rice. Because here again, people get all butt hurt. Well, I want fried rice. But you got to let them know. If you want fried rice, I think that's $1 or $2 extra. So there you have it. Nope. We're going to eat it like we did in country. The white rice. And then over here, as always, I love their egg rolls. And their shrimp egg rolls. These are just egg rolls. I got me 6. And I was noticing when I was looking in the bag, somebody snuck one out while we were in the car and almost ate half of it. So whichever one of you here in the country kitchen, sitting in the dining room and living room, listening to me jabber jaw, started eating this, you get on back in here. Finish it off, okay? And then you also get some wontons, fried wonton strips. Yes, you do. We'll throw a couple of them up there. Right there. That's what you put on top of it. No, y'all, you don't go get the La Choy chow mein noodles. You know those hard, crunchy noodles that come in a can? Because this is what you're supposed to have. But here again, even La Choy. And there was another one, I think it's called Chun King. La Choy bought them out back in the day. You know, they had those there hard, crunchy, or dry, crunchy canned chow mein noodles. And you put that on top of your canned chow mein. Now, I'll give old La Choy credit. You know, they didn't have noodles in their chow mein either. They had them there dried, crunchy chow mein noodles you put on top, which was a takeoff of the fried wonton strips. I refer to them as Chinese Fritos. Sometimes Chinese don't get the humor. Not picking on them. Ooh, those are good too. They'd be good with salsa. But anyway, you get a pile of food. And I love to get it authentic when I can. I can also go down to the Great Wall. And don't call that in because it's too hard to banter on the phone. And I'll walk in and say, I want you to fix me this, but I want you to fix it for me like you would fix it if you were at home. And they will say, now they know me. They say, okay, so good, Mr. Tom. And that. And I've actually had some people standing there waiting on their orders ask me, what's different? Oh, the majority of what's on the menu, with a few exceptions, has been Americanized, like every other cuisine in America. But anyway, a little fun fact. I'm going to dish some up. And if you like, you can have a taste test too. Okay? So y'all, we're going to take a little bit of this white rice. Open up this here neat little box. And we're just going to set it in the bottom of the bowl. Break it up some we are. Now this is a sticky rice. And that. Put us a goodly portion in there, but you can see, we're going to have many more meals. And then, we're going to dish up some of this authentic chow mein. Oh yeah. There's one thing about this dish. Whether you make it at home, get it at your favorite Chinese restaurant, and if you don't want to eat authentic, you want to eat the kind with noodles in it, and call yourself eating chow mein, you go right ahead. So there, see? It's loaded up with shrimp, chicken, pork, beef. We're going to give it a little bit of soy sauce. Not a lot. Just some there. Give it a little more flavor. And of course, we gotta find them wontons. Throw on it. And there we have it. There it is, right there. Looking good in the neighborhood. And of course, I'm sure the kitties, Gracie and a little bit, we're keeping you occupied as they play Christmas ornament soccer. Yeah. Cheapest kitty toy I ever bought, or didn't buy a kitty. They're plastic, by the way, not glass. So anyway, there we go. But like always, we gotta have a taste test, don't we? So, now I gotta get me a fork. Maybe you eat it with a spoon. Of course, you're supposed to eat it with chopsticks. But with me, I'm gonna be American. And I'm gonna use the fork. Ooh, got me some chicken, cabbage, carrots, rice. Ooh, yummy. Here, we gotta have a wonton too, right? And there we have it. Let's give it a taste test. So y'all, as always, time to throw it in the chompers. Mmm. 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 Just like I remember it from the last time. I think it could use a little black pepper. You know how I am about black pepper. Mm. So anyway, folks, hope you learned something this evening. Or at least make you think about it. And that, if you do your deep dive research, you'll know what I told you here is exactly true. Well, until I, Gracie, a little bit, Spooky Speedy, sometimes Cleo, Magoo, and Mr. Gracie, well, piece of rice like got away from him. See y'all on the next video. Take care, stay safe, and God bless each and every one of you. Goodbye for now. I gotta eat. I am hungry. Woo, yeah, I am.